All right, everyone. So, tonight was the November 29th edition of AEW Dynamite. We are continuing with this Continental Classic going on. Brian Danielson, as you see in the picture here, was the special commentator for pretty much for the Continental Classics matches. John Moxley took on Jay Lethal. I know this was the match that kicked off the show. I say it was a solid match between the both men. John Moxley obviously won the match, rightfully expected. I don't think anybody was really expecting Jay Lethal to go over here, but John Moxley continues on with 6 points, so 2-0 so far in this Continental Classic. Next on the list, we had a six-man tag match. Actually, we saw the return of Dante Martin, Top Flight. Obviously Dante Martin's been out with the injury, and those two, along with Action Andretti, took on Brother Zay. I think that's how he calls it now, Brother Zay now. But obviously the Hardy Boys as well. That was a six-man tag match, and it was actually pretty good for the most part. It's good that Dante Martin is back. Obviously, the injury that he suffered all those months ago back at Supercard of Honor was pretty bad, and you never want to see anybody go through that. So it's really good that he's back in action, and not only that, but he got the win tonight in his hometown. So obviously a feel good moment for him. Also on the show, you had Julia Hart defend her TBS title against Emmy Sukura. I know I mispronounced the name now. I apologize. The match is okay. It was your typical women's match. Obviously, Julia Hart retained the title, so that's good there. I don't think nobody could have seen it gone any other way. On this show, you had Mark Briscoe take on Roosh. This was a solid match, I thought, between both guys, Mark Briscoe and Roosh, in the Continental Classic. So, you had that there. But you had MJF cut a promo tonight, and MJF was actually praising Joe the majority of the promo, talking about how growing up, watching TNA, Samoa Joe was just a bad dude, and obviously if you go back and you look at those clips of Samoa Joe and TNA, even Ring of Honor, even you know what Max is talking about. But he was telling Joe, look, I respect you, but you're not walking in the World's End. You're not taking the title from me. It was actually a really good promo from Max. Usually when Max cuts, his promos, he'll go into these little quick, little cheap heat reactions. Like he'll make fun of you, to get a little cheap reaction from the crowd. But he didn't necessarily do that tonight. He was really like real serious, tonight, which I actually thought was really good, But the Devils, obviously this masked attacker, he's sending out his goons to beat up MJF, but Samoa Joe came out to the save, and pretty much this Mask of Salem pretty much set up next week's match between MJF, Samoa Joe, and these two masked men. You know what I'm saying? So the match is made official. It's gonna happen, and we still don't. Obviously, we don't know who the Devil is, so we'll see what happens with that next week. Uh, Christian Cage took on. Well, he didn't take on. He cut a promo as well. He called out Adam Copeland, apologizing. He was like basically telling what Copeland was telling him in his first promo back, like, let's get the band back together. Let's get, let's do this, man. And everybody won't buying it. Adam Copeland sure as hell won't buying it. Edge, he freaking told him to go F himself, which is hilarious. So I thought that was a really good segment. And next week, it's going to be Christian Cage versus Adam Copeland for the TNT Championship in Canada. So in their backyard, they're gonna wrestle in their backyard. So I find that to be, someone in their backyard. Canada. I know like Edge is from, I think Toronto, or something. I don't know. They're in Canada. Okay, so Bret Hart. Either way. Anyways, I thought that was a good segment. Obviously, the main event was Jay White versus Swerve Strickland, and I actually thought this match was going to go the 20-minute time limit draw because it just really felt like there was no way they would have the other guy beat the other guy, but they did. Swerve Strickland won the match. Swerve Strickland defeated Jay White, and that was AEW Dynamite tonight. I know Wardlow squashed AR Fox, so heartbreaking for AR Fox, obviously. But you got to build Wardlow up, which I like what they're doing with him. But this is a good episode, I thought, of Dynamite, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So.